All right, we need to talk, because some of y'all are out here accidentally making yourselves sound kinda cheap. And not cute cheap, like, I found this designer bag for $20. I mean, the kinda cheap that makes people second guess if you even value yourself. Ouch. But don't worry, we're fixing it today. Let's get into it. Number 1. That's too expensive. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You see something you love, a gorgeous dress, a spa day, a meal that doesn't come in a cardboard box, and your immediate reaction is, ugh, that's too expensive, like an automatic reflex. Here's the problem. When you say something is too expensive, you're basically telling your brain that you can't have nice things. You're reinforcing this idea that luxury, comfort, or even just good quality isn't for you, and over time, that mindset sticks. So instead of shutting yourself down, try saying, that's not a priority for me right now. See how that little tweak shifts the energy? Instead of acting like something is out of reach, you're making a choice. You're deciding where your money goes. And let me tell you, the second you start making choices instead of just reacting to prices, you start feeling a whole lot more in control. Also, side note, sometimes things are just overpriced, and you have every right to roll your eyes. But what you don't have the right to do, apologize for no reason. And that brings me to the next one. Number 2, sorry to bother you. Oh, this one. This little phrase sneaks into conversations like an uninvited guest, acting all harmless when really it's wrecking your confidence. Let me paint a picture. You need something, maybe a quick favor, maybe clarification on an email, maybe just a second of someone's time. But before you even ask, you cushion it with, sorry to bother you, like you're some kind of inconvenience just for existing. Why do we do this? Are we all walking around assuming that every request we make is a burden? That we're out here ruining people's days just by needing something? Because let me tell you, most of the time, you're not bothering anyone. And even if someone is busy, guess what? They'll let you know. That's their responsibility, not yours. So instead of apologizing for taking up space, try saying, do you have a moment to discuss something? Or, would you be available for a quick question? See how much cleaner that is? No weird guilt. No unnecessary shrinking. Just a simple, confident way to start a conversation. And if someone actually makes you feel like a nuisance for needing something reasonable, that's a them problem, not a you problem. But if you've ever let someone else's choice become yours, without even realizing it, that's where we need to have a little chat. Number 3, I'll just have what they're having. The classic default order. I get it. Sometimes decision fatigue is real. You're at a restaurant, staring at a menu the size of a novel, and instead of going through the mental gymnastics of picking something, you just go with whatever the most confident person at the table chose. Easy, right? But here's the problem. When you make this a habit, it's not just about food. It's about letting other people's choices replace your own. It's the verbal equivalent of saying, my preferences don't really matter. And they do. This might sound dramatic, but think about it. If you can't pick a meal for yourself, how are you supposed to confidently navigate bigger decisions? It starts small. You deserve to choose things that genuinely bring you joy, whether it's your dinner, your wardrobe, or the way you spend your time. So next time, instead of deferring to someone else, try saying, everything looks wonderful, but I think I'll go with the enter your choice. This way, you're still engaging in conversation, but you're also making it clear that you have preferences, and you're confident in them. And honestly, having opinions, and actually voicing them, is one of the easiest ways to seem effortlessly confident. So, why do so many of us keep saying whatever works instead? Number 4, whatever works for you. The phrase of someone who really doesn't want to rock the boat. I get it. You're trying to be easygoing, flexible, a team player. And in some cases, sure, being adaptable is a good thing. But when every decision gets handed off to someone else, that's when it becomes a problem. Saying whatever works for you too often can make you seem indifferent, hesitant, or even worse, like you don't value your own preferences. And let's be honest, you do have an opinion. You do have a preference. You're just so used to prioritizing other people's choices that you've convinced yourself yours don't matter as much. But they do. So the next time someone asks for your input, whether it's about picking a restaurant, planning an event, or deciding on a project direction, try this instead. I'm open to ideas, but I'd really love to insert your preference. This way, you're still collaborative, but you're also showing that you do have a perspective, and you're not afraid to share it. And once you start owning your voice, you'll be shocked at how many times you've downplayed things that actually matter to you. Let's fix that. Number 5, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. The classic move of someone trying to downplay their own feelings. I see you, and I get it. You don't want to seem dramatic, difficult, or like you're making a fuss over something that shouldn't be a big deal. So instead, you brush it off. But here's the thing. If it matters to you, then it is a big deal. Period. When you say, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, what you're really doing is telling yourself that your feelings aren't valid enough to be acknowledged. You're giving people permission to overlook something that deep down you wish they'd recognize. And that's not fair to you. So the next time you catch yourself downplaying something that genuinely matters, try saying this instead. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but this is important to me. Or I'm not trying to create an issue, but I'd really appreciate if we could talk about this. These responses keep things composed and thoughtful, while still ensuring that your needs aren't ignored. You're not making a scene. You're simply standing up for yourself. And here's where it gets interesting. Once you stop shrinking yourself, you also stop saying yes to things you never wanted to do in the first place. Number 6. I guess I could do that. Oh, this one. This is the phrase of someone who's about to agree to something they really don't want to do, but they don't quite know how to say no. So instead, they half-heartedly commit with an, I guess I could do that, as if the decision is being made for them rather than by them. And here's the problem. Every time you say yes out of obligation instead of intention, you're subtly teaching people that your time, energy, and boundaries are negotiable, that your default setting is accommodation rather than choice. And over time, that adds up. Suddenly, your calendar is full of things you agreed to, but never actually wanted to do in the first place. So instead of passively accepting something that doesn't work for you, try saying, I appreciate the offer, but I'll have to pass this time. Or, I won't be able to commit to that, but I hope it goes well. These responses are firm, but gracious. You're not making excuses or over-explaining. You're simply choosing where your time and energy go. And here's what no one tells you. When you stop giving away your time so easily, you start realizing something else. You're actually way more interesting than you think. Number 7. I'm just not that interesting. Okay, we need to talk about this one. Because I guarantee you, if you've ever said, I'm just not that interesting, it's not actually true. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that your life, your stories, your experiences weren't worth sharing. Maybe you compared yourself to someone who seems larger than life, or maybe you've just gotten used to playing the background role in conversations. But let's be clear, you are not boring. The real issue? You're probably just too close to your own life to see what makes it special. What feels normal to you? Your hobbies, your unique way of seeing the world, that one weird skill you picked up years ago could be fascinating to someone else. But if you keep shutting yourself down before you even try to engage, you'll never give people the chance to see that. So the next time someone asks about your weekend, your interests, or just what's new, don't default to, oh, nothing really. Instead, try, I've actually been into reading historical novels lately. It's been really fun. Or, I never really thought about it, but I do love baking. These responses invite conversation instead of shutting it down. They remind you that your life is worth talking about. Because trust me, no one is as uninteresting as they think they are. And you have plenty to share. Your words shape the way you see yourself. And the way you see yourself, that shapes everything else. All right, now it's confession time. Drop a comment and tell me which of these phrases you know you've said before. No judgment. We're all in this together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. As always, stay classy. Manners matters.